Mariama's voice narrates over the images of her painful childhood. She remembers her father selling her to an American man when she was a little girl. The man, cruel and cold, treated her like property. Years passed with Mariama enduring harsh conditions, but one day, she couldn't take it any longer. She escaped, running through the wilderness with nothing but fear and instinct guiding her. The camera moves through the dark, dense forest, showing Mariama lost, cold, and hungry. Days pass, and just when she's about to give up, she stumbles upon a house. The door is open, and inside, she finds Dr. Han, a kind-hearted doctor who nurses her back to health. Dr. Han's home becomes her sanctuary. He teaches her the art of healing, using herbal remedies and touch. Over time, Mariama becomes like a daughter to him, and his kindness heals not just her body but her spirit. But Dr. Han has no wealth. He lives in isolation with Mariama, but the lessons he imparts about medicine, life, and inner strength become her foundation. Dr. Han's healing services are in high demand, but not everyone can afford to pay. So, in exchange for his help, people offer their skills or labor. Mariama learns the art of barter, becoming proficient in various trades and tasks. She learns how to navigate the darker side of society, performing tasks for people who seek her out in black market circles. Mariama, now skilled and capable, begins to take on her own assignments. She's no longer just Dr. Han's helper. She's becoming her own person in a world that demands survival by any means. As Mariama reaches adulthood, Dr. Han, sensing that she is ready for a new life, tells her it's time to leave their secluded home. He encourages her to find her own purpose. Although she's nervous about leaving the only family she's ever known, Mariama feels a sense of duty to explore the world and find her path. She sets off taking on various black market jobs. One day, Mariama receives a new, dangerous assignment: infiltrate a wealthy family, pose as a maid, and gather their secrets. She hesitates. Her mission had always been to uncover the truth, but this assignment feels darker. Despite her doubts, she accepts, knowing she has no choice but to follow through on her word. She dresses for the job, leaving behind her previous life. The new house, her role as a maid. Mariama arrives at the lavish mansion where she's introduced as a maid. The family is powerful, with a matriarch at the head and a spoiled daughter named Sung-hee, who treats Mariama cruelly. The mansion is beautiful, but full of tension, as Sung-hee's demands and the matriarch's strict expectations leave Mariama with little room to breathe. One day, the family matriarch calls Mariama to her office. She's told that there's been a change in the marriage plans. Sung-hee no longer wants to marry Kofi, the blind heir to a fortune. The matriarch insists that Mariama marry Kofi instead, in Sung-hee's place. Mariama is shocked. She had come to spy on this family, but now her life is being pulled in a completely different direction. Mariama can't refuse. She gave her word to take this job, but now she's tangled in a web of lies, unable to escape. As she stands there in shock, the matriarch assures her that this marriage will solidify Mariama's position, and her mission will change, becoming something more. But Mariama is uncertain about what this means for her future. Mariama stands outside the mansion, staring at the grand house she is now set to call home. The reality of her situation settles in. She was brought here as a spy, but now she's about to become a part of the family. The weight of the task ahead is heavy on her shoulders. The camera cuts to Kofi. He sits alone in a luxurious room, his face serene but his eyes closed. There's no sign of blindness. He looks calm, almost unnervingly so, with an air of mystery surrounding him. He's used to controlling every aspect of his life, but Mariama's presence throws him off balance. His thoughts are bitter as he mutters to himself about her. Just a Nigerian girl. Useless. she's not going to add any value to my life. His frustration stems from more than just her role in his family's plan. He resents that she's in his space, disrupting his carefully constructed life. Mariama overhears Kofi's muttered words but remains unfazed. She's here to do a job, and she has her eyes on the bigger picture. I know my role, she thinks. I'll just play it until I can figure out the rest. Yet, the coldness between them hangs in the air, palpable and thick. Kofi is suddenly attacked by unknown assailants who break into his home. It's clear they want to hurt him, or perhaps capture him. Kofi, still pretending to be blind, struggles to defend himself, and the attackers close in on him. Mariama, hearing the commotion from the hallway, rushes to help. She finds Kofi struggling, and in a split second, her instinct takes over. The attackers, realizing that Kofi isn't as vulnerable as they thought, flee. Kofi collapses from the blow to his head and falls unconscious in the living room. Healing Kofi. Mariama, using her knowledge of hand medicine, immediately begins tending to Kofi's injuries. She knows he has a concussion, a dangerous injury that can't be healed quickly. She tells him, "The pain will be unbearable, but you need to endure it. There's no quick fix." She uses a blend of herbs and techniques, and though Kofi's pain is still present, it begins to subside. Kofi, still in shock, watches her in disbelief. He has never seen anyone work the way she does. His skepticism grows, but he's thankful. Who is this woman, he thinks, as he feels a strange sense of gratitude. Mariama stays by his side, watching over him. Kofi, usually guarded and independent, feels an unfamiliar warmth in her presence. The walls he's built around himself start to crack. For the first time, someone is there for him, someone who isn't pretending, who isn't part of his manipulative world. Maybe this girl, she's different, he thinks. The next evening, Sung-hee, the spoiled stepdaughter, invites Mariama out to a club. Mariama is out of her element, uncomfortable in the loud, unfamiliar environment. She doesn't know that Sung-hee has orchestrated a cruel prank. One of her friends slips something into Mariama's drink. The sedative takes effect quickly, and soon, Mariama is dizzy and disoriented, struggling to keep her balance. By coincidence, Kofi is at the club, having heard about the incident. His protective instincts take over, though he can't understand why he feels compelled to help her. Seeing Mariama in trouble, he steps in, fighting off the people who are trying to take advantage of her. She's not just some maid. I won't let them do this, he thinks, surprising even himself. Kofi manages to get Mariama back to his mansion, carrying her effortlessly. He gently lays her down, his actions protective in a way that feels new and unexpected for him. Mariama wakes up, disoriented and with a headache. As she tries to piece together the events of the night, her eyes meet Kofi's. He's sitting by her bed, his expression calm yet concerned. She's confused and exhausted, but she musters the strength to thank him. However, the mask she wears starts to crack, and for the first time in years, she allows herself to be vulnerable. I've never had anyone look after me. Everyone I've loved has always left me. Even my own father sold me away. Her words come out as a sob, tears streaming down her face. Kofi watches her, the sight of her raw emotions stirring something inside him. He's not used to seeing anyone so open, so fragile. Kofi is silent for a long moment before he speaks, his voice uncharacteristically soft. I understand. I've spent years pushing people away, pretending to be someone I'm not. It's easier that way. He tells her about the loneliness that's followed him throughout his life, how he faked his blindness to protect himself from the dangers of his world. For the first time, Kofi lets down the facade he's so carefully crafted. He confesses that Mariama's presence is making him feel things he hasn't felt in years. A need to protect, to care, and perhaps even to trust. Mariama, still shaken, listens, her heart torn between the man who's been nothing but a mystery and the man who's now showing her a different side of himself. As they sit in silence, the room feels warmer, the tension between them less heavy. The next morning, Kofi and Mariama share breakfast together in the quiet of the mansion. The tension is gone, at least for now. The atmosphere is light, almost peaceful, a stark contrast to the charged moments of the previous night. Mariama watches Kofi, noticing the subtle changes in him. He's not the cold, ruthless man she thought he was. He's someone who has been hiding behind walls of fear and distrust. She sees him differently now, not just as a tool in her mission, but as a man who has suffered just like her. Kofi watches Mariama with a new admiration. He's starting to care for her in ways he doesn't fully understand. She's not just a pawn in my life, he thinks. She's someone who might just change everything for me. Introducing Jae-hwa. He's in his 30s, confident and influential. He's connected to both crime and politics, and has a reputation for being ruthless. We learn that Jae-hwa has been watching Kofi and Mariama from a distance. He knows Kofi's life is shifting, and he's determined to use it to his advantage. Jae-hwa is intrigued by Kofi's family fortune and the secrets it holds. He's also the one behind the attack on Kofi from the previous episode. He wants something from Kofi, and he's willing to play dangerous games to get it. As Jae-hwa talks to a contact, it's clear he's planning something big. Mariama's senses are on alert. Meanwhile, Mariama starts noticing strange things around the mansion. The servants act nervous, and she hears whispers behind her back. She begins to realize that her presence here is becoming a problem for someone. She's supposed to be a spy, but now she's caught in something much more dangerous. Her mission is no longer just about gathering secrets. It's about survival. She decides to dig deeper into the family's history, unaware that her investigation is bringing her closer to dangerous truths. Kofi, troubled by the events surrounding him and his growing feelings for Mariama, sits alone in his study. He's trying to keep his past buried, but the pressure is building. That night, he's visited by Jae-hwa, a man with dangerous connections. The two men meet in private. The tension between them is immediate. Kofi knows who Jae-hwa is. He's a manipulator and a man of power, someone who has been controlling things from behind the scenes for years. But Kofi isn't afraid of him. He tells Jae-hwa, "I'm not your pawn. I'll never be." Jae-hwa smiles cryptically, hinting that he knows more about Kofi's past and his blindness. He warns Kofi that everything is connected, nothing is what it seems, and soon the truth will come out. Kofi's family isn't just wealthy, they've been involved in shady political dealings for years. His late father was involved with both the government and the underground world. Kofi's blindness wasn't a birth defect, but a choice. It was part of a plan to appear weak while secretly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Kofi has been pretending to be blind to keep his enemies at bay. Only a few people, like Jae-hwa, know the truth. But Kofi wants out. He doesn't want to be controlled by his family's dangerous ties anymore. That's why he's so hesitant to engage with Jae-hwa, who is part of the world Kofi is trying to escape. Mariama, feeling out of place and uneasy, begins to investigate Kofi's family. She sneaks into the mansion's library one night and finds a hidden journal belonging to Kofi's late father. The journal contains cryptic entries about shady business deals, alliances with powerful criminals, and hints about Kofi's blindness. Mariama is shocked. This journal doesn't match what she's been told about Kofi and his family. As she reads on, she realizes that her mission is much more dangerous than she thought. Before she can learn more, she hears footsteps and quickly hides the journal. She leaves the library, more determined than ever to uncover the truth. While Mariama is busy digging into the family's secrets, Jae-hwa is making his own plans. He's not just after Kofi's family fortune. He wants control over everything Kofi holds dear. He sees Mariama as both a pawn and a potential threat. Jae-hwa discusses his plans with a few trusted associates. He's plotting to force Kofi into a corner so he can either take control of the family business or destroy it. He's patient, knowing Kofi's reluctance to play the game will lead to his downfall. After a tense encounter with Jae-hwa, Kofi finds himself outside in the garden, lost in thought. Mariama joins him, and they have a conversation. Kofi admits to Mariama that he's terrified of what will happen if the truth about his past comes out. "I don't know who to trust anymore," he confesses. "I'm afraid of losing everything." Mariama reassures him, "You don't have to carry this burden alone. I'm here." For the first time, Kofi allows himself to lean on someone else, The walls around him begin to crack. There's a subtle promise between them. Kofi may have started this journey pretending to be someone else, but Mariama sees him for who he really is. As they stand together in the garden, the soft glow of the moon above them, their bond strengthens, knowing that the road ahead will test them both. The weight of the previous night's conversation with Mariama still heavy on his mind. For the first time, someone understands him. Someone sees through his facade. But with this new connection comes a fear.